Welcome back to class, first graders. It's nice to see you again. Let's get started. This is Phonics and Letter Sounds video 2. We will be covering the spelling patterns for the OR sound. Remember that you can pause or replay this video at any time if you need to hear something again. So I have a special friend I would like to introduce you to. My class, I don't know if you remember me telling you about our guinea pigs that we have at our house. Well, one of our guinea pigs, he's going to be our special helper for our video today. And his name is Oreo the Guinea Pig. And as you can tell by his picture, he looks just like an Oreo. He's got black on the top and white in the middle, and he has black on the bottom. And here we have our friend Oreo live and in person, or in guinea pig, I should say. He's kind of mad at me. I just took him out of the cage. But this is Oreo. There he is. And he's here to help you out to learn the OR sound today. He's a little bit hungry. I'm going to feed him a carrot. He loves carrots. Oh, look at how hungry he is. He's trying to pull it away from me. We'll say hi to everybody, Oreo. There he is. You can see his little face. You hungry? Yeah? Are you going to help us today? We're working on the OR sound. Your first name starts with that, doesn't it? Yes, Oreo, or. But you don't say or like a seal, do you? No, guinea pigs make little squeaky noises. Oh, he's getting feisty. Don't you want to look at the camera? They don't want to see your tushy. You got to turn around here and say hi. Look. Yeah. Can you hear his little squeaking noises? There we are. Okay, are we ready? This week's sound pattern is OR, O-R. There are 3 different patterns that make this sound. They are O-R, O-R-E, and O-A-R. I like to tell my students the sound is like the sound a seal makes, like or. We have a chant to remember this. Put your hands together like a seal's flippers and say O-R, O-R, or. Let's try that one more time. Put your flippers together and let's say the sounds. O-R, O-R, or. Good job. Now let's take a look at the first card you see on the screen. O-R is the pattern we're most familiar with. We have already had the sight word or this year, so that will be useful when learning this new sound pattern. You can see it in words like Oreo or corn. The second way to write the OR sound is O-R-E. In this one, the super E or magic E makes the O say O, like in store. The third way to write the OR sound is with a vowel team OA. Do you remember the rule that we learned this year? That when 2 vowels go walking, the first one does the talking? So on the second card, the OA is making the long O sound, like in or, which is something you use to paddle a canoe or a small boat. Taking the piece of paper that you have, I want you to split your paper into 3 sections like you see on the screen. Label it at the top with each of the sound patterns for OR. Pause the video now so that you can label your paper. Push play when you're ready to get started. We're going to take a look at some words that follow the OR pattern. I'm going to say some words that follow the pattern, and we're going to write them in the chart together. If you think of other words that follow the pattern that I don't say, you can add them to the chart later after the video is over. Let's get started with the OR pattern for or. Do you remember what sound it makes? Yes, it makes the or sound, like a seal. So our first word is a word you're familiar with. It is the word or. And it's written O-R. That's an easy one. Using the OR pattern, let's write another word. You're also familiar with this word from class. The word is for, like this is for you. What's the first sound we hear? I hear an F, for, or, and then we're going to put O-R, for. Your next word is born, like a baby is born. Born. What sound do you hear first? That's right, a B. Start at the top, down to the ground, up and around. That way that the baseball bat is in the front of it. Born. I hear or next, so we're going to write O-R. Born. And then I hear an N. Down and then up and over. Your next word rhymes with born. The next word is corn. Corn. What sound do we hear at the beginning of the word corn? So we're going to have to decide, are we going to use a C or a K? Well, if you said C, you are correct. Corn. So I'm going to put the or in the middle there. Corn. And then we hear an N at the end of the word again. Corn. The next word also rhymes with born and corn. This word is torn, like my piece of paper is torn. Torn. So first we hear T, and then I hear or, torn, and then we hear an N at the end of the word. Our next word also rhymes. It is the word worn. Like I have worn that shirt before. Worn. What letter says the W sound? W. W makes that sound. Or. So we're going to put the or in the middle. Worn. And then again a letter N at the end of the word. Our next word is form. Form can be something you fill in, or form can mean to make something. Form. So the first sound we hear is an F, orm, and then we hear an M at the end, down and then up and over the mountain, up and over the mountain. Form. Your next word is short. What makes that sound like we're whispering? Shh. That is SH. Short. I hear or, so I'm going to write OR in the middle. Short. And we hear a T at the end of short. Okay, last word in this column. Our last word is fork. I'm going to use a fork to eat. Fork. I hear an F again. For. I hear or. Fork. Okay, we have to decide. Should we use a C or should we use a K? It is going to be K. Fork. Next word. Next column, I should say. Our next column is the O-R-E. O-R-E has an E, super E at the end that makes the O say O. So this pattern says or also. Your first word in this column is store. We're going to go to the store. I hear a blend at the beginning, the ST blend. or. And then this time, instead of just leaving the OR, we're going to put a super E at the end of it, because the super E makes the O say O. Store. A word that rhymes with store is more. May I please have more? We're going to follow this pattern. Or with a super E at the end of the word. More. Your next word is war. I have worn, or not worn, I wore that before. Sorry, I was saying it the wrong way. War. I wore that before. Or, and we're going to put the O-R-E pattern. Here's another really common word that we use all the time in the classroom, and it is the word more. And then or. O-R-E. More. Your next word is shore. Shore. The shore is next to the ocean. All right, we hear that sh sound. What makes that sound? It is S-H. Sh. Or. O-R-E. Shore. The next word is really similar to shore. It is chore. Ch. What's the ch chopping cheese? That is C-H. Chore. A chore is a job you do around your house. Chore. Our next word is snore. Snore. Sn. I hear an S-N blend at the beginning. Sn. Or. And then O-R-E. Snore. Okay. Your last word is bored. Like, I am so bored. I have nothing to do. Bored. Start with a B. Bore. There's bore. Now we need bored. And we're going to add a D. Remember, make your C first. Bored. Now, bored is what we call a homophone. So there's another way to write bored, and it's going to be on the next column. We have one more word. The last word is sore, like my muscles are very sore. Or. So we're going to write the O-R-E. This word is also a homophone. There's another way in the next column to write sore. All right, ready to move to the next column? Our first word in the O-A-R column is the word or again. And if you notice in the first column we have or. Well, there's another way to write or, and that is O-A-R. And that is this thing right here that we use, like if we're in a boat and we need to paddle the boat, we use an or. So this would also be a homophone. We have this homophone here, or, and this one here, or. Your next word was another homonym that we talked about, and it is soar. This soar means like a bird or an airplane will soar in the air. So we're going to start with S, or, and we're going to write O-A-R. Don't forget that in this pattern we have two vowels going walking, and it's the first vowel that's doing the talking, and the second vowel right here is silent. Soar. Your next word, also a homophone, is board. This board is like a piece of wood. B. Or, so I'm going to put the O-A-R, board. And I'm going to make a C and then a D, board. Your next word is roar, like a lion, roar. First we hear R at the beginning, roar, and then we're going to have the O-A-R pattern, roar. Next word is hoard. Hoard is when you collect a lot of things and you never get rid of anything. Sometimes we call that kind of person a hoarder or a pack rat, somebody who never throws anything away. They keep everything. So the word is hoard. So we're going to start with a ha, 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 or we have O-A, hoard, and we're going to add a D at the end. And I don't know if you remember, we've also talked about adding ER to the end of a word. So we could change hoard into hoarder. That is a person who hoards, who collects things and doesn't throw them away. So do you remember what we add to the end of it? That is hoarder. That's an ER. We talked about that last time with the ER pattern. Okay, now it's time to flip your paper over and number it from 1 to 10. And we are going to practice this week's spelling words. If you need to press pause to number your paper, go ahead and press pause now. And when you're ready to get started, press play. All right, remember that if you spell anything wrong while we're doing this spelling words, don't worry about it. You can fix your mistakes. We are just practicing now. All right, let's get our pen going here. And I'll get some black ink. All right, your first spelling word for this week's words is born. Born. All right, I hear a B, B. Do you hear the B? Pull down to the ground, up and around. Born. All right, we just practiced this. What makes the OR sound in the middle of born? Did you say OR? You are correct. Born. What sound do we hear at the end? In. There we go. Born. Number 2 rhymes with born. This word is corn. I ate some corn. K. Let's see. We have to decide C or K. What do you remember seeing on the beginning of it? Did you say C? You are correct. K or, so we're going to write OR, corn, and an N at the end of the word. Good job. Corn. Word number 3 from your spelling list is core. Core means the middle of something. It could be like an apple core. That's the middle of an apple. K or. What do you think? C or a K? It is a C again. K or. Now notice this time that the or is on the end and there's nothing else there. So we have to decide, should I just leave it with the OR or should I add the E at the end? Well, we are going to add the super E, core. Number 4 rhymes with core and it is the word more. Well, first we hear an M. Or. Okay, so you need to decide. Are you going to go with just the OR or are you going to add the super E at the end? Did you say add super E? You are correct. The word more has the ORE spelling pattern. Number 5 is roar, like a lion has a loud roar. What sound do you hear first? That's right, it's an R. Or. All right, now we're going to have to decide on the ors. Roar. Is it going to do just plain old roar like this? Nope, it's not. Whoops, grab my eraser. Or is it going to be roar like this? Or are we going to write it like this? Which one of these looks right to you? Roar like a lion. It should be with the O-A-R pattern. So if you said O-R-E, you're going to want to fix that one. That's kind of a tough one because it sounds exactly the same at the end. We're just going to have to get used to the way that it looks. Number 6. The word is soar. Soar like an eagle. That's an S. Or. Okay, same problem again. Are we going to just put an O-R for soar? Nope, not that one. So is it going to be the soar like an eagle this way, or is it soar like an eagle this way? Which one looks right to you? Well, the first one means I have sore muscles, so we don't want that one. The second one with the OAR pattern, that means to soar, to fly. So we want S-O-A-R, soar. Number 7. Number 7 is a review word from last week's words. Last week we worked on the angry R pattern and we had the R sound. So number 7 is a review word. It is the word her, H-er. Starts with an H, H, and then what's the angry R going to be? E-R. That's the most common pattern. Number 8. Number 8 is a review word. It is the word dirt, dirt. Okay, so I hear a D first. Make a letter C, and then turn it into a letter D. D-er. Which is going to be in the middle? E-R, I-R, U-R. It is going to be the I-R, if you remembered. Dirt. And I hear a T at the end. Okay, number 9 and number 10. These are some of your high-frequency spelling words that you should be practicing. Remember, those words are in your take-home packet. You can cut those cards apart and study them that way, or you can leave them on the sheet and practice. But make sure you are practicing your sight words from the packet. Number 9 is one of this week's sight words. It is the word learn. Well, let's see. What do I hear first? L. I hear an L. L. What's going to make the sound in this word? Now, we learned last week about the ER making that sound. Well, this one, though, is going to have another letter. It's going to be L-E-A-R. So here's the part that's a little bit different. Learn. So I have to learn to put an A in the word learn. And number 10 is a little bit of a tricky word. They always make number 10 the tricky one, don't they? Number 10 is the word sure. Now, if I were a first grader and I heard this word, I would say shh. That would be my first thought, right? SH makes that sound. But this is the tricky part on this word. It does not have an H on it. Sometimes when a word has an S and a U, it'll make the sh sound. So that's what's going to happen in the word sure. The word sugar also does the same thing. Sure. Now I also hear a I'm going to have an R, and then I'm going to have what's called a lazy E. This E doesn't do anything. it just sits there. So I have the UR making the sound, and then I have this lazy E sitting here doing absolutely nothing. And I have an S making an SH sound. So this word can be pretty tricky, but if you practice it, you'll get the hang of it. So if you can remember sure and sugar, both start with SU, but they make an SH sound. Well, that's it for today's lesson on the OR sound pattern. So I would like to say thank you, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed visiting with Oreo the Guinea Pig. So goodbye from me, Mrs. Compost. Goodbye from Oreo, and we will see you in our next video. Bye!